back with another episode. This is WriteSea's executive interview series. My name is Brandon Mitchell, co-founder and CEO here at WriteSea.com. And we are at RecBuzz 2024 in Barcelona, Spain. And the purpose of these executive interview series is to really highlight some of the best and brightest voices in the talent acquisition and recruitment marketing space, and to really tell the stories of the people behind the magic. And I'm super excited today to be here with Emmanuel Crouy, the CEO of GrabJobs. Happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
I just want to get started and just really understand. Can you just tell us a little bit more about, GrabJobs and why you come to conferences like RecBuzz?
Yeah. So GrabJobs is a job site that we started in Singapore about 8 years ago. And it's primarily focused on the food and beverage, hospitality, and retail industry. And the reason we chose these industries is because in the region where we operate in Southeast Asia, these are markets that have been traditionally underserved by other job boards. Most of the job boards in that region focus more on the white collar type of jobs. So yeah, that's our niche. That's what we've been developing mostly in Southeast Asia. That's what we did up until COVID. Then COVID hit. We needed to find other ways to make revenue, so we actually expanded globally as an aggregator model. So now we have a hybrid model. Within Southeast Asia, we have employers posting jobs directly, and it's a niche website. Outside of this market, we are generalists, and it's a job aggregator focusing on all types of jobs.
I love that. So it seems that you all started in kind of like the blue collar space and you evolved from there. Can you talk a little bit about, the background and specifically how you got into this industry? Were you, in the food, beverage, hospitality industry before this, and then you knew that maybe you had very unique insights for that market and you were the right one, or how'd you kind of get your start?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I wasn't directly in the F&B industry. So my background is technology and recruitment.
Right.
So I'm a software engineer. That's my background. But after doing a few years of coding, I wanted to do something a bit more people-oriented, and I did a career switch and became a headhunter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I worked as a recruiter for about 5 years. And during that time, I was basically doing the traditional headhunting type job. And that was in Singapore. And I had a lot of friends who worked in F&B. I made some investments in restaurants and cafes. And the number one issue all these businesses had was staffing. And coming from the white collar, industry of recruitment, I was wondering, well, is it really that difficult to hire a waiter? And actually it was, because there were no job sites really focusing on that. So, people were trying to, put ads on Facebook or, use like free type of marketplaces.
Right.
Wasn't working out for them. And so I saw an opportunity there, having a background in tech and in recruitment, to actually build, a recruitment portal that would be focused on these industries.
Right. And I love that because it almost talks a little bit about like your, founder market fit and your product market fit as well. Specifically because you had that experience, recruiting at that white collar, high level kind of position titles, which means that like, you've seen the gambit, you understand exactly what they're looking for. And so to your point, coming a little bit lower could be a little bit more challenging because just the kind of things that, a blue collar job seeker is looking for is a little bit different. And so I'm sure that it kind of helped in that discovery of like what they actually need. And so can you talk a little bit about, so when you started GrabJobs, did it start as like a mobile app or did it start as like a web-based? Because if I think about, blue collar, they're probably on their phones. Can you kind of talk about that, what you see in terms of traffic and
Absolutely.
usage?
Yeah, especially in the region where we started, Southeast Asia. So we have Singapore as a developed market. People use both phones and laptops. But in the other countries, so we're talking, 8 years ago, if you look at Indonesia, Philippines, the target users we're targeting, they don't use laptops, but everybody has a phone.
Right.
So yeah, we initially launched as an app. That was the first thing, and then we evolved into web-based, but especially mobile first.
Right.
And a key thing for us was that because our users don't have CVs, don't have laptops, they don't have CVs either, because they're not going to build a CV on Word document. So the concept behind GrabJobs is that you don't need a CV to apply for a job.
Right.
What we've done is that for every job post, an employer has to choose what is the type of job category. Like, is it a digital marketer? Is it going to be a store manager? And based on all of these job titles, we've built screening questions
Right.
that we ask over chat via a chatbot.
I love that.
So a job seeker interacts via a conversational chatbot, and whatever they answer to the chatbot actually adds data to their profile, and it creates their CV on the go.
Right, that's very innovative. And it's almost like a different way to build that profile, which is very critical because to do the matching, you have to understand specific things, not just like their name or what job title, but more cultural questions or more fit questions. Maybe it's, hey, what shifts are you looking for, right? Which is very specific for something that, let's say like a waiter, et cetera. So it seems that that's been a really good experience to kind of give them the tools that they're looking for. Can you talk about like your ideal customers, right? Because I can imagine, you know, like this is applicable for SMBs. You know, it could also be applicable for like a Marriott that's global in Singapore and United States. Who do you guys typically serve or would like to serve?
Yeah, so it's it could be anyone from you know, a small SME, so a small restaurant that, you know, maybe has, you know, 5 to 10 staff, anywhere to a global hospitality group. Obviously, the global groups are the ones that have a challenge at let's say filtering applicants.
Right.
So if we look at some of our clients in the Philippines, for example, we work with particular industry in the Philippines called the BPOs, and these are all the like customer service outsourcing, you know, of all the big clients.
A lot of turnover and
exactly.
a lot of jobs.
And these companies hire people that are not very experienced, so they could be considered, you know, blue or like pink collar, and they hire thousands of people every month. So they need a way to easily filter applicants. One thing we've built on the employer side, so this chatbot that I mentioned goes two ways. On one side, it helps job seekers to apply, you know, quite fast, create their profile. But on the employer side, this chatbot also filters applicants based on the responses. So automatically it can tell, okay, 1,000 people applied. Here are the top 10 people you should speak to. So that's the technology we built. It's useful for these big enterprise clients that have a challenge when it comes to quickly filtering applicants.
Yeah.
And then for the SMBs, our target clients would be, you know, small restaurants, small shops that are looking for this type of staff that they cannot find on other platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think it's really like streamlining that hiring process, making it an easier experience, not just for the job seekers, but also for the employers. And it doesn't matter how big they are. It seems like the technology is applicable to all these different use cases, especially if you want to move fast, if you want to find the right people. And then I love that it's niche based, right? I always say that the riches are in the niches, right? And it seems like you guys have really got into that and you've kind of dug your claws down there, and I love that. One last question before I let you go, and I have to ask, obviously AI has been a hot topic at RecBuzz. You know, it's one of the biggest things that people are looking at when it comes to, you know, systematizing, streamlining, automated. Are there any cool things that you all are experimenting or doing with AI, whether it's on the job seeker side or on the employer side?
Yes, totally. So, you know, right now I told you we have a chatbot. It's not AI based. It's all rule based.
Right.
Now with all the advances in NLP, you know, in LLMs, the next thing to do would be to replace this chatbot with an AI-based chatbot that can actually ask questions dynamically on the go. So instead of us having to kind of predefine every screening question, an employer could post a job based on the job description. It already generates, you know, screening questions.
Love that.
And then same thing, you know, when the job seeker answers this, the bot can also read, you know, the CV and automatically tell, you know, the employer whether this person is a good fit or not. So yeah, we can see AI as dynamically able to do this matching. Without us having to integrate rule-based.
I love that. It's more personalization. And I think that now and into the future, like the companies, not just recruitment, but all companies in the world need to think about that and make that a core part of their business strategy. So I love that you all are on the forefront of innovation, right? Because you have something that's working, it's scaled, you guys are doing really, really well. But now it's like, how do we take that to the next level? And so hearing things like that is really exciting about how you all are looking at building for the future of the industry. And that's what kind of gets us excited, especially things that we do too, is like we provide an AI resume review, and which started manually. And then also when obviously all the advancements came out, it's like, how can we scale this? And so love to hear that. This has been an amazing opportunity to be able to understand a little bit more about kind of what you all have going on. Can you tell everybody how to find you and if they want to contact you? Please.
Sure, yeah. Well, easy. You can find me on LinkedIn. So look for Emmanuel Crouy or GrabJobs, and just send me an invitation request.
Awesome. Emmanuel, thank you so much for
taking the time
to tell us all about, you know, amazing things you guys have going on at GrabJobs. And Yeah, we will see you next time. This is the WriteSea Executive Interview Series where we highlight some of the best and brightest minds in the TA Tech space, and see you next time. Peace.